Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today what we're doing is an unboxing on all of the leather and silicone cases that I've actually ordered from Aliexpress. So this is like the first batch of cases that have been produced for the 13 series, if you like, the 13 Pro Max. None of these have the pop-up animation. There is a seller that does have the cases with the pop-up animation, but these were not purchased from him. I do not actually recommend this particular seller, and I'll come on to that in another video why, but there is another seller that I do recommend, and basically I'll link all of his cases in the description below. But in terms of the actual build of these, they should pretty much be about the same. So what I'm going to do is, firstly I'll just go through the leather cases, because generally these are a bit easier to actually work with. So we'll just move these silicone cases out the way for now. One of my silicone cases is actually still missing, so the orange silicone case didn't actually turn up. I was actually wanting to order all of them, but for whatever reason they didn't send that one out. So because I already had the Geniune leather case, the brown leather case, I'll start with this particular one. So with all of these, none of them are actually sealed or anything. You don't have no seals on these. And taking it out of the case, this is the only one that I've actually opened and had a quick look at. And in terms of build quality, the only sort of difference that I see is that these actually have a noticeable little bump just there for the bottom sort of magnets. The other sort of difference that I have noticed, just by briefly trying this particular one on, is how high up the case actually goes. So at the moment I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you this on camera or not, but there is a significant sort of lip to the actual case itself, and the Geniune one doesn't have that. The Geniune ones basically, without a screen protector, only just wrap around. Now the funny thing is, the buttons on this particular case are actually slightly better. That was why I actually sent my Geniune case back. Basically the power button was just not responsive at all. There was no tactile feedback. It was really mushy feeling, and it also had a stain on this right hand side just here, which basically was really off-putting. So this color combo I've already seen, because obviously I've already had it on this particular phone. So that's the brown leather case. What I have found is these are incredibly difficult to take off. I found that with all of the sort of latest cases, the leather cases that I've ordered from AliExpress. It was a similar thing with a 12 Pro Max case that I ordered for my daughter, where you almost have to fight with the case to get it off. Okay, so that is the brown one done. Next we'll do the black. The cases that I actually wanted for my own phone were the two purples. The green I ordered just for the sake of it, and these two blues were the other ones that I was really interested in. So taking a look at the black case, they have changed one thing this year. So in previous years, what would happen with the sort of Alcantara lining is it would wrap up on the inside of the case, all along the borders, all along here. This year what they've decided to do is literally just have the Alcantara on the bottom bit, so just on the actual phone back itself, and then all the rest of it is literally just a sort of fake leather material that they've actually got. The other thing that I have noticed in some of the pictures is that the buttons on a lot of the cases don't actually line up very well. So initially they don't actually look straight. I'm hoping that once you actually put your phone into it, that they will line up a little better. A little bit more of a significant sort of bump for the actual MagSafe ring, and on this particular one, yeah, you can still just about feel the extra magnets that are there. So black case. Yeah, that's actually quite a nice look. Power button works reasonably well. Volume buttons reasonably clicky. Yeah, that one's quite nice. That is the look of the black leather case. not genuine leather, obviously. And also another thing is on these ones, it's a bit more pronounced with the MagSafe ring. When I had the genuine one, I didn't notice that quite so much. So that's something that I think the replicas aren't doing quite so well. So that is the black case. Next we will do the green. Right, so this we probably could have done with when the 12 Pro, the 11 Pro Max was actually out. I don't remember if we actually had a green case back then. Similar thing, interior wise, they're all pretty much exactly the same with regards to the lining. Obviously the lighter colors, it's a bit easier to actually see the MagSafe ring on there. Yeah, every single one of these so far are exactly the same. So they have quite a significant lay on the table lip, which I suppose if you're looking for protection, yeah, that's going to be great. For me personally, because I've already got a screen protector on it, it does mean that it's probably not as pronounced as it would be if you didn't have a screen protector. But with a screen protector, there's still a significant lip on each side. Over time, I suppose this edge will patina a bit easier. With my 12 Pro Max, I did actually have the brown leather case on that used for work, and I actually quite liked the way that actually patinaed over time. It wasn't probably the sort of normal patina that you expect to get with leather, because the leather pretty much they've changed the actual design, but it still looked pretty good. Yeah, this is quite a struggle getting these cases off. I'm having to do something that I'd never normally do, which is actually push from the camera lenses. I think better way might be coming out on this side first, and then just get the top out and then pull it out. Yeah, that's probably the way you want to do it. So pull from the button sides out first and then push from your camera lenses, which, as I say, I normally never recommend doing. Right, so that is the green leather case. Right, I'm going to leave that one for last because that's the one that I actually wanted. So some of these colors I don't think are 100% right. This cherry color in particular, I don't believe they will have got right, mainly just because I actually saw a very, very similar color for the 12 Pro Max that I actually ordered for my daughter, which I don't believe originally they had. So I think some of the cases in terms of the colors might not be 100% right. Yes, exactly the same thing. So quite a significant lip all the way around. Buttons are reasonably good. As I said, none of these have the animation, so we're not going to get the pop-up animation on any of these cases. Color wise, it's a subtle one. This one is probably more feminine sort of color, this particular one, but I suppose there's going to be people out there that like purple as well, so yeah. Okay, and coming on to the last leather case, and this is the cherry plum purple, whatever you want to call it. Interior lining is exactly the same, so we still have that ring, and then we have the little magnets underneath. For me personally, I absolutely love MagSafe, so I cannot buy cases without MagSafe now. This year in particular, from Aliexpress, there's been very few cases that have actually caught my attention, because there's just not enough that actually have MagSafe. So the purple, this, yeah, I do actually really like this color combo. I think it'd work better with some of the other color combinations in terms of the phones. But yeah, this was the one color that I saw in all the early sort of hands-on videos, where it changes depending on what light you're in and what light you're under. So under bright sunny light, it's going to become a lot more of a rich purple, and then the darker it gets in the room, or the darker the light, the sort of deeper cherry sort of color you end up getting. This one is probably a bit looser than all of the other ones, so not having to fight this one quite so much. I'm hoping that some of the silicone cases are a bit easier to actually get on and off. Right, so that is all of the leather cases done. We'll leave those just there. And let's start with, yeah, we'll start with the pinks. So these ones do come with the tear-off strips, even though a lot of them tend to be fake. Pulling it out, what else do we get? So you do get a little bit of paperwork. This can be the same on every single one, so I'm not going to repeat this on every single one. Silicone cases, the Apple logo, you can feel it. Lining is okay, so the lining is a little bit different on these ones, so it does actually still wrap around the insides, which tends to be the downside for, yeah, there you go. So you can see just in that corner there, if I can get it to focus in, it's where it's not quite wrapped properly. That's where you tend to get the problems with these cases. Okay, and this is not a very good fit on first impressions. One of the issues that I found with the 12 Pro Max cases, for the silica cases from Aliexpress, was the fact that because they were wrapped so tight, what you would end up getting is one corner would actually unpeel itself essentially. So every time you left the phone alone, you'd come back to it and one corner would be basically like that. So it'll be coming off. Now this one doesn't necessarily suggest it's going to do the same thing, but the only way you can tell that is by using it for a little while. In terms of the silicone, yeah, I do actually quite like it. Let me just pop it in my pocket for a second and then take it out, and yeah, as expected, it is an absolute lint magnet. So we already have lint all over that. Silicone cases generally I'll basically just use for work, so I'm not really too bothered about any type of lint build-up or anything, and obviously when you've got this many cases to choose from, you can always just switch up your colours as well. The reason I've actually done all the colours, including all of the sort of girly colours if you like, is just in case I do always hand my phone down at the end of the year to one of my kids or my wife, and depending on which one gets it, they can choose between either the boys' colours or the girls' colours, so keeps everybody happy that way. Right, so that's the pink done. Well, that's the sort of baby pink done. We have another sort of brighter pink here, once again with the tear off strip. We'll get that out of the way. Yeah, this is basically identical to the colour of what my wife had on her 12 Pro Max. And let's just see, fit wise, it doesn't look like any of these are actually coming up. It's very different to the leather cases. So whereas the leather cases were quite significant with the lay on the table design for the lip, these are a lot narrower. So I would actually suggest, if you're looking for a case where you're not having to, or it's slightly narrower, so if you want a slightly smaller, narrower case, I would probably suggest the silicone cases are your best bet, because these ones are slightly smaller. Just in comparison, like if you lay one, there is a significant drop off between the two just there. So these are slightly smaller. So if you do want, even you're talking millimeters here, but if you do want a slightly smaller form factor, then you are better off getting one of the silicone cases. Yeah, pink and sort of baby blue, if you like. Whilst seems a strange combination, I suppose it does give you a decent amount of contrast on that. And I think with these kind of cases, with the silicone cases in particular, you're looking for contrast. You're not looking for the sort of day-to-day blend in kind of look. These are more for when you want to actually change things up a bit and have it stand out a little. Next one we will do is the green one. Oh, that I like. Yeah, that instantly. Yeah, that's a very nice look. In terms of build on the inside, pretty good. No real problems there. Let's get this one on and see how this looks with the blue. Yeah, that I like. That is definitely a very nice look. I'm not sure how it'll come across on camera, but in person, this is just a really nice accent to the blue. The blue and the green just work really well together. What I will do is, once I've used some of these cases, I will do a follow-up, just letting you know if any of these cases have that same issue where they end up peeling up. These ones do have that same little flap. Anybody who's had one of the silicone cases from the 12s or the 11, well, mainly the 12s, because they're the ones that had the closed bottom, you'll remember that, yeah, it has this little bit of loose silicone at the bottom just there. But yeah, this case I really like. I'm really digging that one. Right, that is the green. Very nice. Next we'll do product red, and I have in the past opened product red cases and found that they're actually orange on the inside, so let's see what we get. Oh no, we do get product red, and I'd say it's more of a cherry red. Product red is always hit and miss in all of the sort of products that you get. Button wise, on all of the silicone cases so far, I'd say the buttons are actually a much safer bet on all of these. You don't get the same kind of tactile feedback that you do get with, okay, this one's a bit different, so I don't know whether I've just not put this in the same way, but this one's a much tighter fit. Yeah, once it's on, yeah, and it was actually the red case last time as well, for my wife on her gold 12 Pro Max, where this bottom corner would always peel up because it was just too tight. That's nice. I do like that. In the video, in the sort of little pop-out screen on my camera, that actually looks slightly orange, but yeah, in person this is, I'd say, like a cherry, almost like a cherry red. I don't know whether it's just me, but that either the Apple logo or the ring behind it just looks slightly off to me. I don't know if that's just me. Yeah, something about that just doesn't quite look right. I can't quite put my finger on it, but right, let's get this one off. And what should we go for? Yeah, let's go for the black. I want to save the two blues for last, because they're, when it comes to the silicone cases, I think the blues might be, as well as, to be fair, I have actually quite liked a few of them. Normally I'm not a fan of the silicone case. I personally don't tend to use them on my own phone. I normally stick with the leather, just because it's basically better for using at work. The black has got a bit of a different look to it, not fully black, almost like a very, very dark grey with a hint of blue in there as well. That does actually look quite nice as well. So that is a pretty decent look. Buttons, very responsive. Yeah, that's the one thing all of the silicone cases have had pretty much bang on. In terms of grip, it's not the grippiest of silicone. So I have had cases in the past. I remember on my 11 Pro Max where I would put it in my pocket and it would almost take the whole pocket out with it. It was that grippy, whereas these are much smoother, which, if they do pick up lint, should make it a bit easier to obviously wipe that off. The darker colours, from what I can see, seem to do a bit of a better job than the very baby pink in terms of hiding that lint as well. So yeah, this one I do like as well. This bottom corner seems to pop off very easily, so that's normally suggesting that, yeah, it's not gonna sit in 100% and you'll get odd corners popping out. This one seems to be a bit more flexible as well in comparison to the others. Yeah, that one's a bit more rigid. I'm not sure if I've just creased something by doing that. I felt a little bit of a creak. One of the magnets may well have dislodged on that. Right, we will go with the darker blue first. So I believe this is probably like abyss blue or something like that. I don't think, do these have the colours on them? Yeah, abyss blue. Just on the bottom there, I'm not sure if you'll be able to actually read that or not. This one, if my Apple Watch should be here soon, the Series 7, that also has a abyss blue band. So yeah, this one's slightly different. The black one blends in because of the fact that it is black, and all of them have slightly accented buttons anyway. So every single one of them has slightly darker buttons than they do the rest of the case. But on this particular blue, we actually have almost black looking buttons. So that is a little bit different on this particular case. Right, just popping this one on. Very firm fit. Buttons, very nice, very clicky. That is the look that we have. Take a look at the buttons again. And on this particular one, the camera bump, which is the other thing I was gonna mention, is also almost, it looks almost black. I don't think it is actually black. I think it is a much darker blue, but it almost looks black. And yeah, everything is nicely protected. With all of the silicone cases, if you have a screen protector on, then there's still a tiny bit of a lip, literally just a tiny bit, just so then you can catch the edges. But with the leather cases, it's a lot more pronounced. If you didn't have a screen protector, then I think you'd have more of a lip here. But with a screen protector, it's almost level, but not quite. So you do still have a tiny bit of a lay on table design with that. Okay, and finally, I'm just gonna shuffle some of these. In fact, I'll just shuffle these ones down. And finally, we have this is Blue Jay. So I think this might actually be an older color. I'm sure we had this color before. And I think this is the one that I think if I was to go for a silicone case, would be the one that matches most with the actual phone itself. So same thing again, power button inside first. Pop the rest of the case in, check the power buttons, the volume button. Yeah, that is Blue Jay. In terms of fit and finish, just the light has just caught. There's a little bit of a seam left over there. What I have found in the past though is any of these kind of cases where they have a little bit of a seam visible, when you do actually use them, a lot of that tends to wear off, just going in and out of your pockets. And after that, it does tend to be quite good. On this particular one, the Apple logo, and apart from, I think it was the very first pink one. Yeah, so apart from this pink, let me just pop that back in. Just lifting the phone up there, I did notice that, yeah, it does add a little bit of weight to the phones. So it does actually make it a bit more weighty. Yeah, so apart from this pink one, on this you can actually feel the Apple logo. So for whatever reason, the fit and finish on that particular one isn't the best. But on all the rest of them, your Apple logo is pretty good. On your red, you can feel it a little bit, and on that one as well. On all your leather cases, it's the opposite. So rather than sticking out, it's basically embossed going inwards. So yeah, that is all of the cases. I think my favorites at this time is the green. I did like the red, I like the blue, both blues and the black. Out of these, I think the green was the only one that I probably wouldn't really fancy using myself, as well as this one. It did look nice. All of these, to be fair, they all did look quite good. I wouldn't really rock either of these. I don't think they're really my style. But all the rest of them, I could quite happily use all the rest of these colours. And this one in particular, I just like the way that it gives a very bright look to the front of the phone, because of how dark the actual bezel or the actual frame is. And unless it catches the light just right, you don't get that same reflection that you do on the silver and the gold models, where you get the reflection off the actual band itself. Yeah, that is a very nice look. So that is a first look at all of these particular cases. Yeah, I really don't know which case to use. I think for work, I might use the black, just so then it hides a bit more of any dirt or anything. I did use the brown or the gold sort of leather one last year, and yeah, on the corners it does tend to wear down quite a bit. The green for me, it's just a bit too dark. That for me doesn't really have enough of a contrast. But I mean, having this many options is quite nice. It does mean that you can change it up quite a bit, and obviously depending on what light each is in, it does give you a very different look. And there are all the silicone colours. Okay, well, that's it for this particular video. If you do have any questions, just drop them down in the comment section below. As I say, I will do a follow-up once I've actually used some of these cases, especially the silicone ones, just to let you know how they actually stay on the case, whether any of them have that issue with the corners peeling. Okay, so here we are back. I was just wrapping up everything after filming, putting everything away, and I was going to put this particular Blue Jay, I believe it is, case on my iPhone to actually keep on there, only to find that, as you should be able to see just there, we have a weird sort of ripple on this side of the case. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that, but yeah, in terms of quality control, not the best when it comes to Aliexpress. But other than that, if you do have any other questions, just drop them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and also hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of any new videos I upload. And I'd really appreciate if you also give this video a thumbs up as well. And other than that, thanks very much for watching.